Welcome to Daily English Buddy, the podcast that helps you use real English in real-life situations. I am your host, Justine, and every episode we take a topic from everyday life and give you the vocabulary, the phrases, and the confidence to handle it in English.
And I am Alex, your co-host. We are so happy you are here with us today. Whether you are listening on your way to work, at home, or maybe even at an airport right now, welcome. You picked the perfect episode.
Because today, Alex, we are talking about the airport. And I have a question for our listeners before we start. Have you ever been standing at an airport, completely confused, not understanding the announcements? Maybe your heart was beating fast because you did not know which gate to go to. Or a staff member asked you something and you just froze?
Oh, I have absolutely been there. Standing in the middle of a huge airport, looking left and right, pretending I know exactly what I am doing, but completely lost inside.
Well, not after today. We are taking you on a full airport journey, from the moment you walk through the doors all the way to sitting in your seat on the plane. We are going to teach you the exact words and phrases that real airport staff use, so next time you travel, you feel confident.
And before we dive in, listeners, do not forget to download our free PDF study guide. It is in the description below this video. It has all the key vocabulary, phrasal verbs, and a quiz so you can test yourself after the episode. Completely free. Go grab it. Okay, Justine, let's go to the airport.
Let's go. So, you arrive at the airport. You walk in with your bags. The first thing you need to do is check in. This means you go to the airline desk, they confirm your booking, and they deal with your bags.
And this is where a lot of people get confused with vocabulary, because there are two very different types of bags at an airport. The first one is your carry-on luggage. Justine, can you explain what that is?
Of course, your carry-on luggage, sometimes also called hand luggage, is the smaller bag that you take with you onto the plane. You keep it with you the whole time. It goes in the overhead compartment above your seat. Most airlines allow one carry-on bag per passenger.
Exactly. And the second type is your checked baggage. This is the larger suitcase that you give to the airline staff at the check-in desk. They put a label on it, and it travels in the bottom of the plane. You do not see it again until you land and collect it.
And listeners, please remember this difference. Because if a staff member asks you, "Is this your carry-on or your checked baggage?" you need to know what they mean. It is not just about the size of the bag. It is about where it goes.
Great point. Now, at the check-in desk, the staff will also give you your boarding pass. Not just your ticket, your boarding pass. This is the document, paper or digital on your phone, that shows your seat number, your gate, and your boarding time. You need it to get on the plane.
And one thing I learned the hard way, always check your boarding pass for the gate number, because gates can change. I once walked to completely the wrong side of the airport and nearly missed my flight.
Oh no, that is a stressful story. Okay, and one more important phrase at check-in. If your suitcase is too heavy, and the airline has a weight limit, you will have to pay an excess baggage fee. Excess means too much, more than what is allowed. And these fees can be quite expensive, so always check your bag weight before you leave home.
Very good advice. And the phrasal verb to know here is to drop off. You drop off your bags at the check-in desk. For example, I need to drop off my checked baggage before I go through security. To drop off something means to leave it somewhere for someone else to deal with.
Perfect. So to recap this section, you arrive at the airport, you drop off your checked baggage at the check-in desk, you receive your boarding pass, and you make sure you are not paying an excess baggage fee. Ready for the next step, Justine?
Security. The most stressful part of the entire airport experience.
Why do you say it like that?
Because it is. Everyone is rushing. You have to take things out of your bag, the trays are everywhere, the person behind you is sighing loudly. It is chaos.
Okay, fair point. But if you know the vocabulary, it is much less stressful. So first, the place where this all happens is called the security checkpoint. A checkpoint is a place where people are checked or inspected before they can continue. At the airport, security staff check that you are not carrying anything dangerous.
And when you arrive at the security checkpoint, you will put your bags and belongings into plastic trays. These trays move along a conveyor belt, a moving flat surface, like a slow-moving platform, and your bags go through an X-ray machine so security staff can see what is inside.
Now, there are two things you almost always have to take out of your bag before it goes through. The first is liquids. There are strict rules about liquids at airports. In most countries, liquids must be in small containers of 100 milliliters or less, and they must be in a clear plastic bag.
And the second thing is your electronics. Your laptop, your tablet, sometimes even your large phone. Security staff often ask you to put these in a separate tray so the X-ray machine can see them clearly.
And now, the two phrasal verbs for this section. The first one you will definitely hear at security is to take off. Not the airplane taking off. We will get to that later. At security, a staff member might say, "Please take off your shoes and jacket." To take off means to remove something from your body.
I always forget about the shoes. Every single time. Everyone else is ready, and I am standing there trying to untie my laces as fast as possible.
Pro tip: wear slip-on shoes when you travel. And the second phrasal verb is to go through. The security staff will say, "Please go through the metal detector," or "walk through the scanner." To go through something means to pass from one side to the other, usually through a machine or a door.
So you take off your shoes and jacket, you put your liquids and electronics in the tray, your bags go along the conveyor belt, and you go through the metal detector. If everything is fine, you collect your things on the other side and you are done. Not so scary when you know what to expect.
Exactly. Okay, now comes the part where you can finally relax a little. You are through security, and now you are in the departure lounge.
So the departure lounge is the large area after security where you wait before your flight. It usually has shops, cafes, restaurants, and seating areas. The word departure means leaving, so the departure lounge is literally the place where you wait before you depart or leave.
And inside the departure lounge, you need to find your boarding gate. This is the specific door or area where you get on your plane. Your boarding pass will show a gate number, for example, gate B14. You walk to that gate and wait there until it is time to board.
Now, this is also where you need to understand some very important words that you will see on the big information screens. The first is on time. This means your flight is leaving at the scheduled time. No problems, everything is normal.
The second word is delayed. When a flight is delayed, it means it is late. It is not leaving at the scheduled time. It will leave later. For example, your flight was supposed to leave at 2 o'clock, but now it will leave at 4 o'clock. It is delayed by 2 hours.
And the third word, the one nobody wants to see, is canceled. When a flight is canceled, it means it is not happening at all. The flight will not depart today. This is very stressful and usually means you need to speak to airline staff to find a new flight.
I have had a canceled flight before. It is not fun. And speaking of delays, there is a great phrasal verb for this: to hold up. When something holds up your flight, it means it causes a delay. For example, our flight was held up by bad weather, or the flight was held up because of a technical problem.
To hold up is a really useful expression, and not just at airports. You can use it in many situations. Traffic held me up this morning. Sorry I am late. I was held up at work. It always means something caused a delay.
And then, the moment you have been waiting for. You hear the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now boarding rows 10 through 20 for flight BA274 to London Heathrow. Please have your boarding pass ready.
To board means to get on the plane. So boarding is the process of all the passengers getting on. Airlines usually board in groups. First business class, then maybe passengers with small children, then row by row. So listen carefully for your row number.
Okay, you are on the plane now. You find your seat, and here comes the big debate, Justine. Aisle seat or window seat?
Window seat. Always. No question.
No, no, no. Aisle seat is objectively better. Let me explain. Listeners, the aisle seat is the seat next to the walkway in the middle of the plane. The window seat is next to the window on the side. And the middle seat, well, nobody wants the middle seat.
Poor middle seat. But Alex, why do you prefer the aisle?
Because I can get up whenever I want. I do not have to climb over two people to go to the bathroom. I have more space for my legs. And when the plane lands, I can stand up immediately and get my bag from the overhead compartment.
Those are fair points. But the window seat gives you something the aisle never can. The view. Looking out at the clouds or seeing a city from above when you land. It is magical. Also, you can lean against the wall and sleep.
Listeners, which team are you on? Let us know in the comments. And speaking of the overhead compartment, this is the storage space above your seat where you put your carry-on luggage. Sometimes it is also called the overhead bin. Both words mean the same thing.
And once you are settled in your seat, a flight attendant will come to do the safety demonstration. A flight attendant is the trained staff member on the plane who looks after passengers. They bring you food and drinks. They explain safety procedures, and they help you if you have a problem. By the way, the old word for this was stewardess, but that word is outdated and not used anymore. Flight attendant is the correct and respectful term.
During the safety demonstration, you will hear two very useful phrasal verbs. The first is to stow away. The flight attendant might say, "Please stow away your tray tables and return your seats to the upright position." To stow away means to put something in a safe and tidy place, out of the way.
And the second is to fasten. You will definitely hear, "Please fasten your seatbelts." To fasten means to close or secure something. Your seatbelt has two parts. You clip them together and pull the strap tight. That is fastening your seatbelt.
And then comes the exciting part, or the terrifying part, depending on how you feel about flying. Takeoff. This is when the plane leaves the ground and goes up into the sky. The plane accelerates very fast on the runway and then lifts up. It is quite a feeling.
I actually love takeoff. That feeling of speed, and then suddenly you are in the air. And of course, at the end of your journey comes landing, when the plane comes back down and touches the ground. A smooth landing is when you barely feel it. A rough landing is when everyone grabs their armrest.
I have experienced a few of those rough landings. Everyone starts clapping nervously, like, "Thank you, we are alive."
The nervous clap, a classic. Okay, listeners, let us do our vocabulary recap. Alex, you start.
From the check-in section. Carry-on luggage, the small bag you take on the plane. Checked baggage, the large bag you give to the airline. Boarding pass, the document with your seat and gate number. Excess baggage fee, a charge for bags that are too heavy. And the phrasal verb, to drop off, to leave something with someone.
From security, security checkpoint, where your bags and body are checked. Conveyor belt, the moving platform for your trays. Liquids and electronics, what you must take out of your bag. To take off, to remove something from your body. To go through, to pass through a machine or door.
From the gate and boarding section. Departure lounge, the waiting area after security. Boarding gate, where you get on the plane. On time, delayed, and canceled, the 3 flight status words. To hold up, to cause a delay. To board, to get on the plane.
And from the airplane section, aisle seat versus window seat. Overhead compartment or overhead bin, storage above your seat. Flight attendant, the staff who look after you on the plane. To stow away, to put something safely out of the way. To fasten, to close or secure, like your seatbelt. And takeoff and landing, leaving the ground and returning to it.
That is so much vocabulary in one episode. And all of it is real. These are the exact words you will hear at a real airport. If you can remember even half of these, your next travel experience will feel so much easier.
And the best way to remember them is to use our free PDF. It is waiting for you right now in the description below this video. It has a full summary of today's vocabulary, all the phrasal verbs and example sentences, and a quiz to test yourself. Download it, print it, or save it on your phone.
And we have a question of the day for you. Check the pinned comment below this video. We want to know, what is your biggest challenge at the airport? Is it security? Understanding the announcements? Finding your gate? Write your answer in the comments. We read every single one.
And if you are not yet subscribed to Daily English Buddy, please hit that subscribe button right now. We post new episodes regularly, all designed for B1 English learners who want to use real English in real situations. Every episode comes with a free PDF, so you always have something to study with.
Just search for Daily English Buddy on YouTube, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. It is completely free and it will genuinely help your English.
Thank you so much for being here today. You are putting in the effort. You are learning, and that is something to be proud of. We will see you in the next episode of Daily English Buddy. Safe travels, everyone!
Bye for now, and remember, window seat or aisle seat, as long as you know the vocabulary, you are going to be just fine.